Hello,
Hi guys, I'm Alex.
I'm Pong,
I'm from Romania,
and I'm from Vietnam.
and together we're the Does. We're a mixed family that decided after a lifetime of living in Romania to move with our family, our two boys, in Vietnam. So, after we lived in Romania for more than 3 decades, we decided that the environment in which we were in wasn't making us happy anymore. We were being very stressed with our jobs and with the kids, and the excitement and all the stress from the city area. And for a really long time, we really flirted with the idea of relocating somewhere else. We do love the idea of a nice, quiet town, and we did want to move around somewhere in Romania. But in the end, we decided that regardless of where we would go, the system would basically be the same, and we wanted a complete change of pace. And then we thought about some ideas of countries in Europe, but that would imply learning new languages. Like we flirted with the idea of Austria, but
Or
none of
Spain.
us speak German. Then we wanted to go to Spain because I speak Spanish, but my husband doesn't, and the kids would have to learn Spanish. And we didn't want to let go of the idea of them learning Vietnamese either. So we thought it would be a huge pressure for them. And after while we thought, why not just try Vietnam? I mean, it's Phong's home country, and we visited Hanoi a couple of times before. And when we were here the last time in 2023, we actually did a whole trip from north to south, and we explored more of the country. And it was definitely a yes for us to moving here. It took us a year to prepare for this
Yes, about
transition.
a year.
Yeah, and now we're finally here, and we hope that this is the best idea for us.
So, through our channel, we would like to share with you some information about living here in Vietnam and what are the differences between Romania, Europe, and Vietnam, some culture shocks that we experienced, and our journey so far as a family of four.
So, like I said, we chose Vietnam because it's my husband's country. But the truth is, we've been here a few times before, and in 2023 was the moment we actually decided that this is for us. The first time we visited was in 2020, right before the pandemic, and we only stayed in Hanoi. So my whole perspective of Vietnam was through Hanoi, and it was crowded, it was loud, it was dusty, it was smelly. And I thought to myself, I would never give up Bucharest for another urban area that is actually a little bit worse than Bucharest. So at that time, the idea of moving to Vietnam was not even close. But later on in 2023, when we actually did the whole trip from north to south, we've experienced parts of Vietnam that are more quiet and more suitable for what we want and for our own rhythm, because we tend to be quiet people and we look for those, quiet little small towns where nothing really actually happens. But then we also enjoy a nice weather
A chill vibe.
and yeah, and the chill vibe. So when we decided that it was going to be Vietnam, some of these factors were actually really important in our choice. Aside from, of course, the cost of living, which we actually researched beforehand, and we compared our incomes from Romania and what we could earn here in Vietnam. Of course, the costs for schooling for our children, and to our surprise, but not as much, private schools here that offer like really good opportunities are cheaper than in Romania. So for us it was a really big win because that meant that we could put our kids in really good schools and give them really good prospects for the future.
Our first impressions here in Vietnam was the temperature and the humidity. Um, Back in February, in Romania was about negative 15 degrees
Celsius.
Celsius, and in Vietnam was 15 positive, 15 degrees. And it wasn't too hot or too cold,
It was a little
but
bit more than 15 degrees. I mean, we were suffocating
yeah,
when
it was
literally when we
between
landed, we were suffocating.
it was between 12 and 18, 20
Yeah.
sometimes.
Because of the humidity, it felt suffocating.
But the humidity was very high. It was about 70 or to 80%. So we were feeling sweaty all the time. And
Yeah, with the jet lag and everything.
it was very annoying.
Yeah.
The second one was the traffic. So almost every time that we went to Vietnam, at least me, the traffic seems very insane, like chaos, or we thought it was like a jungle with all the scooters going around and the cars.
Traditional Vietnamese
Yeah.
traffic.
And comparing to Romania, it's totally different. When we were trying to cross a street,
Mind you, with two children and one stroller.
yes, it was a challenge every in each time. Cassie got an ice cream. Is it good? So they start their day 5 to 6 a.m. in the morning, and we saw a lot of people taking their breakfasts at local restaurants or street foods
Yeah, it's
or
full.
coffee shops. And sometimes it was even a traffic jam at these hours.
Yeah.
So comparing to Romania, it's totally different because it's about 2 hours or 3 hours earlier than there.
Yeah, in Romania, like most of Europe's, the rush hour is between 8, 9 a.m., maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
But
we
here
start.
at 10 a.m., it's already a ghost town. Everyone's taking their afternoon nap. Yeah, they were napping. Like the lunch, they would have lunch.
Yeah.
And then just a small nap between like 11ish.
Yes, most of the banks or even the markets, they stop working and they close their shops or the banks at 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. So that's their lunchtime. My cousins, they go home at that time and they eat and they sleep.
Yeah, and then they go back to
And
work.
they will go back to work.
Yeah, which
My brother brings their kids home to eat, take a nap,
and then
and
takes them back to school.
Yeah.
Which is incredibly fascinating for us because in Romania, the 9 to 5, 9 to 6 schedule is pretty much standard for everyone, and you get like half hour, an hour break for lunch, and everyone just either eats something from home or takes a small break and goes out to eat something. But the nap part was surprising to us. Yeah, everyone here takes their afternoon nap.
And another shock was the prices. It's so much cheaper here comparing to Romania, and Of course, we know that the salary is different, but still, that's the first shock, one of the first shocks that we met uh, here.
Yeah, and I think everyone goes through that. I mean, going through the math in your head to see how much everything costs and figuring out that in most cases it's a third of the price you would pay in
Sometimes
Europe.
a fourth.
In Europe, yeah, or a quarter of the price, yeah.
Yeah, so
For
when
food,
you
for
are
groceries.
you are used to eat a meal in Romania per person, sometimes you pay from 10 euros to 20 euros.
Yeah.
And going here, you can even eat at one less than a dollar for
Yeah, per
a meal.
person, a meal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So huge
Food
difference.
is food is cheap and delicious.
Also the drinks.
Yeah.
And this is called chatak. And look at my wife. She just loves it.
This is why I moved to Vietnam. I've been dreaming about this for a year.
The customer service is another important point here, is because the local street foods or hotels or coffee shops, they treat their customers very friendly, or sometimes they even treat you like their family member. So very good
Yeah.
point here.
Yeah, they're really, really hospitable. And comparing to Romania, this is a bit of a disappointing point for us because we are natural travelers. We love to travel. And Romania is such a beautiful country and it has so much to offer. But every so often, we just encountered places, hosts, restaurants, hotels that really, really offered disappointing services. Whilst here in Vietnam, every person, regardless of the size of their business, will just try to make you as comfortable as possible. And that's really huge, huge plus here.
And this is our favorite ice cream location. It's called Kem Chang Tien. Okay, let's go inside. And this is the ice cream that I've been waiting for. Of course, there are pros and cons everywhere in everything. For Vietnam, as an example, it's about the regulation of hygiene. Not everywhere it's welcoming, let's say it like that. Sometimes it's dirty, sometimes you see many things that shouldn't be, but it is what it is.
But they're growing, they're learning, and it's a transition process for them. They are going in the right direction, definitely.
Yeah.
Hygiene wise and cleanness wise, regarding the streets and the parks and the restaurants and the local markets and so on.
Another con here is their sidewalks. It's more like parking lots for them. So most of the time you don't find enough space to
Walk on the
walk.
pavement. Yeah.
Not to say about the stroller.
Yeah,
So,
you end up with the stroller walking
Yes.
on the street. Yeah, on the
most,
side of the road.
most of the time we walk on
Yeah,
the
with
street
scooters
more
just
than on the
passing
sidewalk.
by. Yeah, not very safe.
Another point is about staying in a line. They don't know that. They just
Respect.
go straight forward.
Yeah, they
cut-
just
cut
cut
the
in
line,
front. Yeah, they cut
the
in
line
front of you.
and they just go straight forward to the seller or public relations.
Yeah, they just go to do their business. They completely disregard the fact that you were waiting in line to do the same thing. Yeah.
And now another part is there. It's about this personal space.
No regard for
No.
personal space
There's no
whatsoever.
personal space here.
And I'm not sure that this is a thing they will learn in time, because I think it's just their way of being. They are nosy, they are curious, they will come up to you and check you out with no regard of personal space.
It's almost 10:30 and everybody's going home, or they are preparing to go home. And my son is still running around. Of course, he wants some ice cream. Look at him. Yes. Try to consume some energy here. We just had a break for the milk, for a meal. And look who's happy. Are you happy? Yes, you are happy.
So, thank you guys for watching. This is just an introduction to our family and our life, and there will be more videos coming your way with more information about our transition from one country to another, and things we've encountered here, and how we handled the entire process for us, and of course for our children. So, we'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.
Bye. We are finally here.
Happy wife, happy life.
True.